Morning guys. So as a little bit of a twist to the morning videos is that we'll look at the risk calc, but we'll also cover what's entailed in the Patreon and what's entailed in the Quasidb service. So I had basically a message last night. I put in a 14-hour day yesterday, so I was absolutely zonko by that time. So apologies if you message me and it takes a little while for me to respond. It's probably because I've done a really long day. So I've replied to this message, and the question was, I'd like to know how things work. So basically we've got two aspects to the Quasidb service. We've got our spreadsheet. In fact, we've got spreadsheets, plural, but we've got the main one that you'll get access to, and which we'll talk about. It's up here, and it pulls the API data from my FX book from here. And on the other aspect, on the other side of the coin, is the Discord. And in Discord, you've got your trade community and the trade setups, and you've got your robots and indicators. We haven't really populated MetaTrader 4 for that for a while, because I think everyone should be using MT5. It's a lot better. It's 64-bit architecture. It's a lot faster. It's less laggy. And MT4 is like from the 2000s. You know, do you want to use a 20-year-old terminal for your trades? Probably not. So we haven't really populated MetaTrader 4 so much, but MetaTrader 5 is getting constantly updated with EAs and indicators, which you can get access to. So if you want access to the Discord, you only need the basic tier. But if you want access to the sheet and Discord, it's the premium tier or the QDB FX SSI tier. Now the reason for that discount is that there's a small discount if you're subscribing to the FX SSI products. Okay, if you're already a sub for their website, you get a discount, and you just have to tell me that you're a sub of FX SSI, and you get a $5 discount a month, which is pretty good. So spreadsheet and Discord only, and this is just to support me if you want to buy me a coffee. And you do get videos in Patreon, and there's a really good video in Patreon how to create trading bots. So that in itself is worth $5 a month, because that video is completely a massive game changer. It has been for me personally, and I've learned so much, and I've created so much from the AI. So for that's just like a stupid bargain that you could do if you wanted to. And there's a video in there how to create bots. It's very, 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 very simple. In fact, it's too easy. It's quite hilarious how easy it is. Okay, so you just need a bit of patience with that, and trial and error. And then as long as you understand trial and error and keep repeating, send the AI the errors, and then it will fix those errors for you, and away we go. So let's talk about the sheet. The thing is, I don't want to make it a massively long video because the sheet is massive, but we'll just quickly cover what I would do. So for me, when I launch the sheet, I will check whether or not the API is loaded. So 714, 722, we've got recent data. That's a check. I would then probably check your trade setups. Now this is important for me to check, because I need to make sure that the signals are going into the bot, and the robot takes these signals and we trade them. So this is an important tab for me, just to ensure things are working. And these are our trade setups. You may note yesterday we didn't have many signals, and that's to do with the indecision and the uncertainty that we had. So currently at the moment they're trying to buy pound New Zealand dollar. How's that working out for them? Well, we can see it's not working out very well for them here. So yeah, we are negative. It's interesting, we've got a slight delay on the performance, but that's because of the Google Finance, and so that reflects what we see on the risk calc, because it's saying we've got a 0 score on the technicals, but really that's not necessarily true, because we are seeing the European indices move higher. So we've got a little bit of an issue with the Google Finance, this bit here, the quotes aren't sourced from all markets. It may be delayed up to 20 minutes. That's a longer than 20-minute delay. they're probably having a little bit of a bottleneck at the Google side. But sentimentally, it's working fine. Slight delay on the technicals. So after I check the trade setups, to making sure that the API is working, it is, so that's good. And ideally, what we'd want to see is the Google Finance to sort of pick up some slack and don't be so laggy. And it will eventually wake up, and then we'll get a proper reading. Then I would come here and I'll populate the data, and we can see we had the crowd has shorted gold yesterday, but we had the big move yesterday. So are they going to hold short? Look at gold price now, we're pumped, and we had that move higher in VIX. And then I would just populate this, and then that feeds into the risk calc, and then that gives us a big picture view. Now the thing is important about this is that you would never be bearish indices. You wouldn't sell the S&P or the Dow or the DAX or the NASDAQ or anything pending that we were green. If we're green up here, never sell. Okay, only look for buys. If we're red, then you can go and sell. But if we're green, don't ever sell, only buy. Okay, now ideally what would be great was that we'd have green, green and green, but this cell is telling us that we are having like a deviation. So what we kind of want is to see them being short and adding short. But what's happened is that they're being short, but they went long. They did try and buy the dip yesterday, and then they got squished. You would have seen the price action yesterday. We really fell. It was obviously to do with the geopolitics and the fundamentals, but the fact that the crowd tried to buy, it sort of hurt. And you think, is it a coincidence? Well, it's been very accurate for the last 5+ years. Whenever we have a red cell up here, we tend to sort of waver with uncertainty, and we can fall on the indices because of that red cell. If the crowd buy over the last 24 hours, that's fairly bearish, but we have to remember the big picture. Okay, so that's very, very important, because I was speaking to someone last week and they got destroyed from being bearish. But it's crazy because they're subscribing to the sheet and he just disregarded this information. So it should save your account from getting blown up, and it will make sure that you're on the right side of the fence. Okay, don't be bearish if the crowd are bearish. Okay, so I would then come here, and then what I would do personally, this is my tab that I go to because it tells me when the last API has been updated. It tells me the failure rate, which I'll talk about, and it also tells us the technical scores. But like I said, the Google Finance is just being a bit laggy. It's just a bit annoying, and also tells us the trade setup for today. That's the bubble deviation. So we come to the daily bubbles. See, they've gone long pound, so we should be bearish. They've shorted New Zealand dollar, so that should be bullish. Okay, so come back here. So that's the logic for pound Kiwi. It's looking at the deviation of the positioning across time. Okay, this is time. And this is the long, short. Okay, and so this is mixed. That's mixed. This is buy. That's sell. So all you need to remember is buy, sell. Okay, and if you can't, if that's difficult, then we do have a thing called the rate of change. And so if something that's really probed lower, is that they've aggressively sold. So we should see Kiwi yen go up, do quite well. Likewise, if something really, really perks up, then it's going to be a sell. So if it comes down, it's a buy. If it goes up, it's a sell. So you could look for Kiwi yen. I'm personally avoiding yen. I don't trust it at all. But if you wanted a gamble, it might be alright. As long as you know your exit, you'll be fine. At the moment, I'm going for a 1R. So if you don't know what a 1R is, essentially the stop loss is the same distance as your take profit. So I'm not really looking to maximize my profit too much. I'm just looking to just get some profit and then walking away. I'm not going to have an ambitious take profit because we'll likely not get there. And we can see perhaps the S&P. If we come to the indices, we can see that we might be just coming off the highs. and it's really hard to trade. Full chart. See, we come off the highs. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I had a DAX long, which I've exited, so it was probably a good thing. So don't necessarily have too much of an ambitious take profit right now. Just look to make some profit and walk away, but don't risk too much either. So we've obviously got some resistance at the all-time high, as we can see, and we had a reaction off it. And if you remember, the crowd has started to buy yesterday. All right, that's yesterday. Is that a coincidence? It didn't help, but we also had the geopolitics as well with the Iran-US. So if you get the fundamentals that are slightly risk off, and when the crowd buy, we'll have a move like this. Okay, and that's why the sheet's really good, really powerful. I think we'll probably have to flip to Discord now because it's going to be a really long video. Oh, the failure rate. I was going to talk about that. Now, what that does, it tells us the success or failure of the crowd today, intraday. Okay, if it's above 50%, it tells us that they are losing on average. If it's below 50%, they're getting paid. Now, what should happen is that whenever they act as a herd and they all go together on a symbol and they try and buy it, what will normally happen is that some large entity will see that and then they'll reverse that trade. They have to take the other side of that transaction. If someone's got a buy and they're going into the market with a buy, there has to be a seller. All right, and that person taking the other side of that trade has got vast amounts of capital and they can move markets. All right, so this is why we really need to look at sentiment for that. Okay, and this tells us the success or failure of the crowd. Now, we should always be above 50%. They should never be getting paid on an average perspective. Okay, so that's really important. So for us right now, we're okay to trade the sentiment, trade the the bubbles. You're okay. If we're below 50%, I'd be a little bit cautious. So that's the sheet. Let's come to Discord, and just realised I just closed it, so it might take a while to load. Okay, it's just having some verification, so that's fine. What do you get in Discord? Well, you've got your analysis on the indices and FX and crypto. I did put out a trade out on the crypto. It went up 400%, but then it had like some kind of manipulation and it crashed. But I did take some nice profit on it, and hopefully some people would have seen that and did the same. It's a token called the Rave token, and it really pumped. And luckily for me, it's because I've been trading for a long time, I knew to take off my risk off as it went higher. And what I was doing was taking $100 out of my portfolio, and then it did that. So I was lucky, but also I sort of, you have to think, well, if we had moved 400%, it's a bit ludicrous. So you're looking to sort of de-risk, and luckily I did. But it's something I put out, gave everyone a heads up, a week heads up before that move. So nice if you caught it. Don't think anyone did, but it would have been like a bit of a risky gamble. But you could probably put like $10 in it. If you're getting a 400% return, it's pretty good. So that's that. So you get your analysis, you get your videos, you got your live feeds from the White House in case you want to watch that. I sort of regret doing that now because Trump's been an absolute nightmare and it's a lot of nonsense that he says. But if you wanted to get some White House briefings, they're there. And you've got a live Bloomberg Daily Bulletin. Now this is free for everyone, so make sure that you do check that and be sure that you're on the right side of the fence. Don't be with the crowd, especially for risk, okay? Because the big fish really want to trap traders, and they need to liquidate them basically. So there's something that's a work in progress. I need to work on my website. I might even just pay and get a website. I was going to build it from scratch, but I might just pay for one because I haven't got much time. I'm trading full time. I haven't really got time for that. Economic calendar, that's not currently working. I need to work on that, and also that's something I need to look at as well. That needs to get populated, but that's fine. The reason for I need to delete that because what happened before was that Daily Bulletin was for subs only, but everyone's got access to that. everybody in the world. So I do recommend coming into Discord and checking that, and then you understand how it works. Okay, so I can delete that now. We don't need that, because this used to be behind a paywall, but everyone's got access to that. So you've got your trading chat, you've got your any other business. So what's the difference between trading chat and AOB? AOB is very off-topic stuff. We can talk about football, I don't know, TV programs, jokes, memes. If it's really, really off-topic, we can put it in there. And so public channels there, the classrooms there. I may delete that because currently we had a spammer in there, and I can delete that now because he's basically ruined it for everyone. So we can delete that. If you've got questions, you can DM me on Telegram or Discord. It's not really a problem. And don't forget, you've got your bank forecast as well, and you've got a weekly commentary from BlackRock. So if you've got a spare 5 minutes, you've got a coffee, and you want to see what's going on, well, how they're positioned, one of the largest interbanks in the world, and see how they're advising their clients and what to do, and how to position themselves for the week ahead, for the month ahead, for the quarter. And then you'll be informed, and with that information, then you'll do okay, you'll prosper. Just know that the sentiment is really, really powerful, and you want to have it in your tools, in your toolkit, okay? Because if you've got your sentiment with you and the fundamentals, it's a very, very powerful force, okay? So read that, and then you can be informed. And lastly is the MetaTrader 5 bots. So come in here, and what is really cool, you've got your Google Sheets robot, and then you've got a very sophisticated, powerful Google Sheets robot. But currently I'm experiencing some errors on the status. However, functionally it works, but graphically we just need to fix those errors. So we have a rollback, a very simple, slim EA, and that's that one there. And now you will notice if when you load it, there's no SLTP on an individual symbol, but there's a global SLTP, and we've done that. It's been designed so we're not subject to the stop hunts, okay? So if we have a 1% loss or 1% profit, it is what it is. If we get stopped out, it's fine. We hit our loss, we hit our profit. But if we have individual SLTP, we might find that those individual SLTP get probed, and we'll have it so frequently, it's ridiculous, especially after yesterday and the uncertainty that we had. So that's the sheet and Discord. It's quite a long video, but there's lots to it, and you get lots of bang for your buck. Make sure that you are using the sentiment. Don't disregard it. You'd be a bit silly if you did, because you'd end up being with the crowd, and if you do that, you'll probably end up with losses. So there's today's video. Hopefully it helps. If you can leave a like, that'd be great, and I'll speak to you guys soon.